Yo, what is up, guys? Back on stream. Welcome. Stream number 2. We are here with the Jamz live, episode 2. Very excited. If you're in here, what's up? Glad to see, hope everyone's doing well, and figured I'd hop back on here. Had a lot of fun. I think it was Monday, testing out the first stream, so wanted to get another one going. Hopefully everyone hears me okay and things are looking good. So yeah, if you guys, of course, have any questions or anything like that, drop them below. For now, I'm probably just going to get into a bit of practice while I wait for some people to pop in and just answer some questions, just hang out, maybe jam a little bit. I have a few ideas I want to chat with you guys about at some point. And so, Blackpool's this weekend. That's pretty cool. I'm not going too far in Canada. I'm still in Canada, so but I hope everyone who is going has a great time. Sounds like it's going to be a blast. A lot of cool people going. Wish I could be there. Hopefully one of these years I'll make it down. Sounds like a lot of fun, but yeah. So for now, I am going to switch over to the table. Actually, you know what? Before I do that, if anyone is going to Blackpool, let me know. Let me know if this is your first time. I'd be very curious to know. Hello, by the way. And so let's see. I also wanted to talk about the quantum deck too. That's been getting a lot of buzz lately. So if anyone, what do you guys think about the quantum deck? If anyone has any thoughts, if anyone has bought it, if you pre-order, I think it's only on pre-order right now, but the quantum deck is interesting. A lot of controversy surrounding it, but I think it's pretty great. I'll get into my thoughts on it in a bit when we get a few more people in here, but yeah. What's up? All right, let me go down to the table. My high production quality here. Yeah, that looks good. All right, we are at the card table cam. I'm still pretty proud of these animations. I don't know if they look that good, but all right. So lately, one of the things I've been spending some time working on when I have a little bit of time is I've been pretty good with the bottom deal for a while, pretty proficient at it, but one thing that I hadn't practiced much is, when you're dealing at a table. So for example, when I bottom deal, I have no problem, dealing in different positions and going through dealing the cards, in a regular sort of fashion. But when you're actually throwing out the cards like this, that is something that I, of late, have taken an interest in practicing and getting good with bottom dealing that or second dealing that and stuff like that. So that's what I've been working on now. So that is what we'll get practicing. If anyone hops in, let me know. Let's do this. Still catching some hangers there on that, but still working on it. Because I have pretty much no issue. Like this, right? Fairly proficient at that. And I think at least to a working level where I can use that. Well, I do use it. I use it all the time actually. But getting to be able to go. So right now I've been practicing this, Now, granted, this is a pretty terrible angle for the camera to be at for the type of bottom deal that I use. But yeah, that's a lot of what I've been working on lately when I have some time, at least. Yeah. See, and then what becomes even more difficult is, you know, throwing these out and then say I want to hit a bottom deal here and to get that one to shoot out as well. Oh, see, got the grip wrong there. But which ones are they? Yeah, there we go. That actually looked all right. Oh man, I have some good stuff I want to teach tonight. I was thinking maybe an oil and water or an any card, any number. A couple different ideas. Stuff I wanted to show once we get a few more people in here. How's everyone doing? People who are in here? Let me know. Oh, all right. Let's get back to it. And some aces again. Just sitting here, if you just joined in, just getting some practice in, seeing if anyone shows up. And yeah. See how those look, because the stream's a little delayed, so I can actually watch myself back on my phone, which is pretty cool, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you just joined, we're getting in some bottom deal practice. Anyway, on the topic of Blackpool, I definitely would like to go someday. It's a little bit far for me right now. I'm in school still, so got class, you know, university grind. But it would be cool. It seems like a cool experience, you know. I find sometimes groups of magicians are not always my favorite thing, but depends, you know. It depends on. I find sometimes it can be like an ego contest, right? And so that would be my only worry with something like that, you know. I've met a lot of great people in magic, but also you have some not so great people, I'll say, you know. So it's hard to say. Like I said, it kind of becomes an ego contest at certain points, you know, when you get together with a bunch of magicians. I've had good and bad experiences, but at the end of the day, I think I would like to attend Blackpool at some point. It sounds like it'd be a lot of fun. A lot of people I'd love to meet, but yeah, at the end of the day, we'll see. Hopefully next year, maybe next year, the year after, something like that, I'll be able to make it down. I'd like to, you know, meet some people too as well. So anyway, anyone new in here? Hello. If anyone's here, welcome. How you guys doing? What's up? Just been getting in a little bit of practice while I wait for some people to show up. Talking a bit of Blackpool as well. What do you guys think? Anyone here going to Blackpool? It like I was saying, it's definitely something that would interest me, but not this year. Just don't have the time. It's a little bit far, you know. Anyway, I'm just getting some practice, waiting for people to show up. See if we can get some conversation going in here. There's a few things I wanted to teach today. If we get enough people in here, if we get anyone in here who wants to learn. But Yeah, I was thinking I have a pretty interesting oil and water ideas. A couple any card any number ideas. Thinking about sharing today, but let's see. And also, I was asking about the quantum deck. Anyone in here interested in the quantum deck? Anyone here pre-order it? What do you guys think? There's been quite a bit of controversy. I don't know if you've seen on Craig's channel there. He's been having quite the controversy with that whole situation. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's good. Like I was here. I think the video he made was on. I think it was Luke. His name is Luke and Mike. Maybe were the guys who were like really criticizing it, and yeah, it was kind of. I think it was kind of uncalled for, to be honest. I listened to what they had to say. I listened to what he had to say, and I don't know. I think they had a few arguments, like specifically saying. So if you don't know the method, it's or in the ad copy at least, Craig and the Murphys, they kind of said that it was 100% examinable, which I mean, to me it is, right? Like the reason these guys were making these claims or having bad things to say were because it was about being like falsely marketed, which if you listen to what he said is like really not the case. To me, they were saying that it's not going to pass an inspection by a magician, which, let me turn this up here, which frankly, why does that matter, right? Why are we performing for other magicians? Like, I get if you're in the setting where you're at like a convention or something, it might make sense. But at the end of the day, it's not something that it's not something we should be striving for. It's something we should be like particularly interested in. Let me adjust the zoom here, get that out a bit. But I don't know. I just thought it was very strange that like they're so concerned about performing for magicians, because I mean there are endless tricks that are not going to fool magicians that are still good effects, right? So it's such a strange like idea, concept, that would be something that's bad and 100% examinable. Like with, I don't own it. I haven't seen this tutorial like a lot of people have who are kind of talking about this thing, but I have a pretty good understanding about how it works or how it operates. And I can understand how like it's examinable. Like anyone can see it, anyone can mess around with it, but it's like to laymen, because what they would feel or what they would see is totally hidden by the method, from my understanding. And I understand how it works, I believe, and so I can see how that would totally work. And performing for a magician like should not be the main concern here. Like it just doesn't make a lot of sense. That statement doesn't really hold a lot of weight as to why it's not a good effect. Craig's a great dude, so I'll start by saying maybe I'm a little bit biased, but from an objective standpoint, I like, like I said, I like Craig, but from an objective standpoint, it looks like a great effect. It looks like a great product. Not for me, because it's, not my type of effect. I'm not the type to buy a full gimmick deck for sort of one effect, but the quantum deck is, if you're just joined in, that's what I'm talking about. And just some of the controversy that was surrounding it this week. I think it looks great. I think the method is sound. I don't think there's any false advertising. I mean, the guy showed you it in the real world. He showed you handing it out to people. So the guys who were saying like, oh, it's not truly examinable by a magician, but well, nothing, any gaff, anything you use besides a regular deck of cards is not technically 100% examinable. And it's just kind of a weird sort of weird ideology, you know, that you owe. There's so, like I said, there's so many effects that I do that would not fool a magician. That's why the whole buzzword, which I don't like very much, magician fooler, became so popular, because people just want to fool magicians, right? And yeah, it's kind of strange. I don't know. All right, I am going to get a little more practice in now. It's good to just be able to practice on live, actually. Get to watch it back with a little bit of delay as well. And then I can see how it looks. Let's get this up here. Gots to. Lost the grip there. This is why we practice. Oh. So, actually, if anyone's in here, I will, maybe I'll share this little oil and water idea that I had. So, if you want to follow along, grab 3 red and 3 black spot cards. Now, a lot of people don't like oil and water, but I honestly think it's a pretty, I don't know, it's an entertaining plot, at least for me. I always enjoyed coming up with methods for it. I don't know, it's sort of like any card, any number, right? We're all sort of really interested in creating methods for it. And same thing with oil and water. I don't know, for some reason I have the bug, I guess you would say, with this particular effect. And I get a lot of people don't like it, a lot of people think it's boring, but I always get great reactions when I do perform it. So my thoughts, you know, I always like to do it just with 3 and 3. A lot of people do it with 4 and 4, but for me, 3 and 3 is like a good number, right? 3 and 3 it's quick, but there's enough mixing. And, you know, 4 is a good number too, but the methods that I like, I think you can get away with a little bit more using 3 cards in a lot of cases. So my oil and water, you know, like I said, if you were in the last stream, I try to sort of reduce the type of effects. So if I know a ton of different methods for oil and water, and I had several different routines that I used to do, but I sort of have settled on the one that I like, or combined a few ideas from different ones to create the one that I like. So the oil and water that I typically do, I'll show you guys the first couple of phases. There's one phase I can't share, it's not mine, but yeah, it uses 3 and 3 cards. So, you know, I like to have the spectator take a good look at these cards before we get into it. And then I use a move, a pretty neat move. So you're going to take the 3 black cards, the 3 red cards, put them on top like this. And then as you're displaying, right, so you just show them, you have them inspect them, and when they hand it back to you, you collect them with the 3 black on the bottom, 3 red on top. Then you're going to say, I have 1, 2, 3 water cards, so you sort of thumb over the 3. And then just as you say the third one and you just remove it from the deck, you bring it back and grip 2 of them, taking 1 away and flipping the hands face down. So it kind of looks like I have 1, 2, 3 water cards, just like that. And you're just kind of showing the back just subtly, right? So 1, 2, 3 water cards. And then you come back, but the difference is this card is now going to go behind the spread. So it's essentially in a sort of cull position, right? But you're kind of just getting there naturally sort of into that position. So 1, 2, 3 water cards. This card's going to slide underneath, and then you're going to slide, well, you count the oil cards, the first one's going to go now in between these cards, right? And then the other 2 can just go in their regular spot. So you go 1, 2, 3 water cards, and you go 1, and you just slip it in there. 2, 3 oil cards, and those ones go on the bottom. So now the position that you're in looks like this, and it's a really, it looks really fair, right? So you should have 2 oils, red, another black, and then 2 reds once again. So now you can take the cards in your hand, and you're going to split 3 and 3, drop 1 onto the table, and keep 1 in your hand, or you can drop them both on the table. I usually do it like this. Then you're going to go oil, drop it, and then this one you have to drop as well, and then you just go water, and then you can flash this one again, oil, water, and now you can flash these 2. Oil, you can't flash this one, water. So you just kind of get used to the rhythm, and there's a few you can flash, a few you can't, and if you did that properly, you will have a perfect split. So it's a really nice, really quick. That's the first phase I usually use. So again, 1, 2, 3 water cards, and 1, 2, 3 oil cards. So again, with the oil, I slip 1 in, and then the 2 on the bottom. So you end up in this sort of position. Now, you flip it over, and you're going to take the first 3 cards, you drop them over there, and those are going to be the oil ones, so that's important to remember. Now, every card, basically, the cards that are going to go in the middle of the oil and the middle of the water are the ones you can't flash. So you can go oil. Now this one's going to go in between 2 oils, right? But this is obviously going to be the second oil card, but they think it should be water, so you can't flash that, right? So I kind of go like this: oil, water, oil, water, oil, water. So everything that you say is congruent with what you show. And then again, you have a nice separation. So for the second phase, I sort of take the same approach. We're going to do it a little bit differently, a little bit more clean. So you're going to go set it up in the same way with the waters on top of the oil. And you go 1, 2, 3 oil cards. Sorry. You go 1, 2, 3 oil cards. Bring the top one underneath. So again, it's in a bit of a cull position. And then this time you're going to feed all 3 into the culled card, I would say. So you go 1, 2, 3 oil cards, and all 3 of those have now gone underneath. So when you close up, the red one ends up on the very bottom, and you're in sort of this position. Hi, Bo. Thank you, Bo. I appreciate you. So that's kind of the position you end up in. 2 waters on top, oils in the middle with another water on the bottom. Again, you're going to flip, take those 3 cards, and this time I like to set them down sort of like this, so they're kind of spread out a bit. And now we're going to take the other cards, and again, these ones are the oil, and we're going to take these other cards, and this position we have a black on top of 2 reds, okay? So these they believe are the oil, these are the water. So when I kind of take it off, I go, we'll take the 3 oil cards, and I set them down like that. And then I say, and the water cards. Hello from Kingston. What's up? Kingston's a cool city. I went there a long time ago. Well, not that, well, yeah, pretty long time ago. Now, I guess it's been like, I don't know, how long ago was that? Maybe 12 years, 10, 11 years. I was in Kingston for a school trip, field trip. You know, it's a great little city. So hello, Mike, how you doing? Anyway, so you've set down the I'm teaching a little oil and water handling here, a couple little ideas on it. So this is you set down the oil, you have the water in your hand, and now what you're going to do is first do a double. So it's easy, you just do a block push off, right? Because you only need to push off the block here, and you'll be fine. You don't have to get a break, nothing. You just push off everything but the bottom card, and you flip it over, and so there's your first one. So you say water card number 1, and you're going to take it and put it in, but now of course you've switched it out with the double. Now you're going to reach underneath, take out the bottom card, water card number 2, slide that in, and then quickly just flash, because we're showing this one twice. So you just say, and water card number 3, excuse me, water card number 3, you put that on top. Square that up. Square up everything. They can do this nice and slow, and you flip over and you have a nice separation. So that's the second phase that I typically use, and I find it hits really hard. Like if they had any suspicions that something went on after the first one, the second one kind of clears that up. I see that, and great cards. I collect cards. Thank you. Thank you, Mike. Yeah, these are Madison's Advocate, the pink Advocates. Quite like them. I got a few more over here. I do have a lot of decks, but I wouldn't call myself much of a collector. I'm not crazy into collecting, but got the first V3s, the Chateau Advocates. Those are beautiful. Got the, what do you call those? We're drawing a blank. These are the Madison Dealers and David Blaine's. And yeah, great decks. All those. Those are some of my favorites, so I have them on display when I'm shooting the videos. What the hell are those things called? I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on that. The Remedies. Thank you. That was going to kill me. The Remedies. Those are actually, I really like the shade of red that was used. Here we go. Now I can't get the decks to stand up anymore. Okay, well. Back to this. I had a few thoughts. So, they're not quite the, here I'll show you them. They're not quite the Devil's Advocates. The Devil's Advocates, I think, are this, but in red. These ones, the Remedies, are like this. So they're like this nice deep red. It's probably the same shade of red, but this was like a Daniel Madison, Daniel Schneider sort of collab deck. Let's see if I can get these to stand. It's kind of a balancing act. Brilliant. So yeah, so the oil and water. So I'll do those first two phases. So if you missed, essentially you go 1, 2, 3 water cards, right? 1, 2, 3 oil cards. You square everything up, take the 3 oil, and you go oil, water, oil, water, oil, and water. Mix them up. Snap, do what you got to do. Wait, and they separate. So that's phase 1. So I just finished teaching how to do that. Phase 2, it's the same sort of thing. 1, 2, 3 water cards. 1, 2, 3 oil cards. This time we're going to take them like this. I'm going to take water card number 1, place that there. Water card number 2, place that there. Water card number 3 on top. Square everything up. Wait. And they separate again. So those are the first two phases I use. I think it builds really nicely. Second phase sort of more fair than the first. And that's really nice, makes it really strong. Then the fourth phase that I do is Danny Ortiz's Oil and Water in the Spectator's Hands, which if you don't know that, I would highly recommend you check it out on really any magic dealer. We'll be supplying that. I think it was on a download. He also put it out on his virtual download where he's talking about like doing virtual magic and stuff. So anyway, so how I use that is it works nicer with 4 cards for that one. So if you have 4 oil, 4 water, but you know, for that effect, if you know anything about it, you need 4 of a kind, or 4 blacks and 4 reds, and so does the spectator. And it's sort of a thing where you both mix the cards, but then at the end their cards actually separate in their hands and yours don't. So you need them to get their own cards anyway. So as they're doing that, I kind of say, you know, let's make this more interesting. We'll add an extra card as well. So they take out 4 reds, 4 blacks, and I take out an extra one. And then I go into that. Now, unfortunately, I can't really teach that, but that's kind of how I close out my oil and water routine. They do it in their hands, and it's really, really nice. Now, a few other little ideas I was thinking about that are kind of neat as method-wise. Again, don't know how practical, but just different ideas to sort of think about. One that I actually do is you go like this. I go oil, water, oil, water, oil, and water. So you can actually see them mix. And they're separated like this, so you can clearly see them be mixed. And I'll take those just like that. We'll leave them, square it up, but when I snap, they separate. So that is pretty neat. It's essentially using a DPS squeeze shift type of motion, which is something I'm pretty good at. So when you separate them like this, you keep them jogged, right? So your first card, you want to be on the lower end. So if you put your oil, then the water goes high. So it's low and then high, and then low and then high, and then low and then high. So now what happens when you flip it over, the top card is the one that's back. So it's, you're pushing in these cards, right? This is not on top here. So if you want, you can, you know, show one last little display, square up, and then push in. So what I do here is, because there's so little cards, this actually is really, really easy. So I kind of just push them through on an angle. So if you've seen my squeeze shift video, this will help. And then I pull this all underneath and shift it to the bottom, right? So I'm just shifting that packet of 3 through the other packet of 3 essentially. But it actually looks really clean. I can even do it really slowly here, and you can see like it's hidden from all angles, and I just kind of square everything up and that's all separated. So that's a little idea that I actually have done in person. I used to do that a lot as an oil and water. And the nice thing here is that they can mix the cards, right? Because there's no trick, there's no secrecy here. So one thing I used to do is have them mix it, and then I'd say, look, I want to leave these sticking out a bit so you can clearly see them mixed the whole time, and I just that would be my excuse to up jog them after they mixed it. And I'd take it back and I'd say, watch as I slowly push these in to the middle of the deck. I'd hand them the deck immediately, and of course it's already separated. So you can see that actually works really, really nicely, and it's a little, I mean, maybe sleight of hand intensive if you're not so great at it, but because of how little or small the packets are, I would say, you can do this really, really slow, right? Like that was super slow, and it's really hidden well by this cover hand. And it's actually got pretty good angles too. So that's an idea I used to do a lot. Another thing that's kind of neat with 3 cards, it's another Danny Doherty's idea. It's called the Optic count. Gotta stay hydrated. Drink your water, folks. So the Optic count is sort of like an optical count. And basically it's neat because you don't have to do anything besides the count, and it can set up for second phase. So the way that he uses it is in a neat little routine where you do an oil and water with 3 cards, and then at the end, like you've separated them black, red a few times, and at the end all the cards change into red cards, or all the cards change into black, so there were never any of the other color to begin with. So he uses it that way, but it's actually kind of nice just using in a regular oil and water, because you can have the cards mixed, right? Like actually mixed by the spectator in the oil and water, nice mixture here. And then you can just separate them 1, 2, 3 like that. Take the top 3, the bottom 3, and it's already done. So obviously it's not already done, but it looks like it, right? So we got 1 red card, 2 red cards, and 3 red cards over here. And then here we of course got a black card, a black card, and a black card, and you can see they've separated. So that's the Optic count. It's really deceptive, and obviously I'll show you here that I was concealing a card. So what it does is it allows you to hide the middle card. So if you have 2 red cards, you can display this as a packet of entirely red cards. And if you have 2 black cards, you can display this as entirely black. And if you happen to mix oil and water perfectly and then separate them, you're in perfect position to do the count. So you can have them mix it, you take it back, right? And you go 1, 2, 3, and you just separate the 2 piles. You can do this super cleanly. You say, watch, over here we have 1, 2, 3 black cards. And here we have 1, 2, 3 red cards, and it looks really nice. So how that count works really quickly, it's not very difficult. Basically, you're going to have a black card with a black card and then a red in the middle, right? So square that up. When you pick it up, you just flip it over and you keep everything square. Now you're going to do a block push off. Now block push off, again, really easy to do, particularly because we only have 3 cards, but you just need to push off everything but the bottom card. So you're going to do a block push off, and you're going to tip that into your hand. So this is a double over here, okay? So block push off, tip that into your hand, and you're kind of springing it off, right, like that. And then you're just immediately putting that card down, right? As if it were this black card that they just seen, but it's actually the red card. So you go 1 and drop. That's actually the red card. And then you flip 2. And then this one you can kind of take out of this hand, and 3, and you put it down. It's a really nice count, actually. It looks really good, I think, at speed. Let's do that again. Looks really good at speed. We got 1, 2, 3 black cards. I guess I should make sure that I actually show the camera here. So 1, 2, 3 black cards. And it's the same thing. And then you pick up the red pile and you do the same thing. 1, 2, 3 red cards. So that's the Optic count, and it's pretty cool. I actually like it for like an opening phase if you do it, because you can do it as a good 1-2 phase. So what you could do is, maybe even it's a good like 3-4 sort of phase, because if for the first phase you can get away with you mixing the cards and maybe you do something sneaky there. And then the next phase you can hand it to them, have them mix the cards, hand them back to you, separate them 3 and 3, and then you say watch. And just like that, they've separated into 1, 2, 3 red cards, and 1, 2, 3 black cards, right? And the nice thing is now, before they have a chance to, become handsy and want to try to grab these cards and look at them, you can actually go straight into another phase, because these cards are actually kind of mixed up. So what you got to do is you got to pick up the either pile, and move the, let me make sure that's true, either pile. Yeah, either pile, and you move the bottom card to the top. So you can just say, look, so here we have 3 black cards. No, this was the red pile. So here you just say, we got 1, 2, 3 red cards, and you're going to bring the bottom card on top, okay? So you can do this again with either packet. You pick up either one, you go 1, 2, 3 red cards, and you move that one on top. Now you can even flash the bottom if you so choose, right? So we're just shifting the top card to the bottom. So I just go 1, 2, 3 red cards, and our 3 black cards. And now we're actually set up where the top 3 cards are all black, so we can go right into another phase where we go watch oil, water, oil, water, oil, water. You can flash every one except the 2nd and 5th one, and there you go. It has separated once again. So that is a nice little idea using the Optic count, how you can kind of get 2 phases out of that and how it sets up one into the other. All right, Mike, take it easy. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. So another little idea that I think, this is actually the one that I'm the most excited about. Maybe it's just because I love false deals so much. But if you think about it, if you mix up the oil and water cards, with only 3, there's something that's really neat. I was kind of just looking at these one day and I realized, like, I have access to the top card, of course, with a regular deal, the bottom card with a bottom deal, the 2nd card with a 2nd deal, and the 2nd blast card with the Greek deal, if I choose to employ a Greek deal, right? And with that, once you get rid of, say, the bottom card, when you deal it down, now you have access to these 2 and these 2. Likewise, if you deal the top card, now you have access to every card. And logically, at some point, we're going to deal the top and bottom card, which is going to give us access to more cards. So I was thinking, how could you utilize this in a way if you're good at false deals, right? So obviously, what you can do, which is really cool, is you hit a Greek deal, okay, for the black card. So let's say they mix it and they hand it back to you. You can just go, boom, they separate. First time you hit a Greek deal, which is going to get rid of this card. Then you hit a normal deal, because I think it's nice to get the dirtiest one out of the way, and then you have the top card, which so it looks really fair, kind of proves that the other one was fair. And now this card is going to be in position once this one is gone to do a nice 2nd deal, and you can deal out the oil and the water cards. Now, I understand a Greek deal is quite difficult, especially with a small packet like this. yeah, like I've played with this, so I know it's very difficult, but it just, you don't have enough leverage, really. I mean, it can be done, but it's very difficult here. Like, that was a Greek deal, looked all right, but point is, I thought that might be a little bit too challenging to have to go, you know, boom, Greek deal, regular deal, second deal. But again, you can see, without me having practiced that very much, it actually still looks okay. But I think the Greek deal might actually be worth eliminating. So my idea there is, after they mix it, what you're going to do is just spread like this, come down, and as you come down and as you're showing, you want this finger to contact the second from bottom card, which would be the card that you would Greek deal at some point, right? So you're going to contact that card, and as you show them, they see it one last time, you're going to come down, you're going to pull that card out, right? So you come down, pull that card out, and then you're just going to now move it second from top. So the hand positions are pretty important there. So this middle finger is going to be on this card, and then you want this thumb at the back here to be on the the fifth card from the bottom. So now when you pull this one out, these other three are going to stay in position, and these two are going to come away, right? Like that. What's up, Zach? Thank you for reaching. Thank you for calling this fire. You're learning some magic secrets right now. Yeah, man. The Greek deal. Oh, yes, the Greek deal. The Greek deal is very difficult. You Greeks and your deal. Anyway. So what you can do, right, you show them like this, and then you come down and you say, you know, we'll mix those cards up. And there, I've shifted that card to the top. So it looks really, really fair because they see this, then you come down. Oh, sorry, let's do that again. They see this, and then you come down, and it just looks like you lifted off the top two cards and you're putting them right back on top. But this actually sets you up to a really nice spot. So you go from here to here, and the justification there, you know, you're just showing them. You say, look, you can see those are well mixed. You mix these cards, and I put them like this. And now we're in this position with the two black ones on top. So now we can just do fair deal 1, fair deal 2, and now just hit that easy second deal, get the third one, and we have a separation. So that is how I think that idea is probably best used, or at least most practically used, with such a small packet. So I think that works pretty nicely. Did I have any more ideas on that? I think those are the few ideas I wanted to share, just with sort of a 3-packet oil and water. I mean, at some point you could, you know, take that, square it up, and put that into a side steel, and then steel it to the top and achieve a similar thing. But I was just kind of actually playing around with this today, this whole idea here of showing and then coming down and stealing that card out as you come down. And I actually think that looks really, really clean, right? Like this, and you put that on top, and you've stolen it. So, oh, I must have stole the wrong one there, but anyway, I think that looks really good. All right, well, let's see. Did I have anything else for this one here? Blackpool we talked about. So yeah, I think I'll leave it at that. Let me pull this up here, fix my camera. So I think that's it for me today. Not too many people in this live, so I'm going to call it. You know, it was fun. It was good to get some practice in, chat with a few of you, and share a little idea I was thinking about today with some of those oil and water ideas. Some of those I've had for a while, but a couple of them are stuff I've been thinking about today even. Zach asks, when's the next Omegle vid coming? Well, I got a bunch of Magic with Friends vids, which are virtual. I haven't done Omegle Magic in a minute. I've been doing the street magic and other stuff, but I should get on that. I should do that. I'll definitely get on that, Zach. You inspired me to get on that. But yeah, so anyway, I have a lot of other ideas I'd like to share. So, I'm thinking I'll probably start streaming maybe once a week, see what the turnout is like, and yeah. So I want to thank you guys for being here, for watching. I hope you like some of those ideas, and I will catch you next time.